So guys, in today's video I'm going to be comparing the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. And I've been using the Note 5 Pro for almost a month now and the Zenfone Max Pro for almost a week. And I've come to definitive conclusions about purchasing this phone because I've used both of them so rigorously and so intensively that I probably know every pro and con there is to know. Let's first start with the build quality. Both of them have a metallic build and a very identical design. Both of these phones are really slippery. But that's exactly how metallic back phones are supposed to be. When it comes to the design and build quality, I would rate them a tie, but I would give an extra mark to the Redmi Note 5 Pro because it has that Corning Gorilla Glass protection. Even after using this for nearly a month, very roughly, it's not developed a lot of scratches. As opposed, the Zenfone Max Pro is also doing well without a case and without a screen protector. Just because it does not have Gorilla Glass, the Note 5 Pro does score 1 point right here. Coming to the in-hand feel, both of these phones are large phones and the Note 5 Pro packs in a 3000 mAh battery and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro packs in a 5000 mAh battery, but the weight of the Zenfone Max Pro is considerably lighter than the Note 5 Pro and I think this gives the Asus Zenfone Max Pro an advantage. Coming to the displays up front, we have 18:9 aspect ratio panels packing in the same resolution. And I put the same wallpaper on these right now. If I had to comment on the display, I found the display of the Redmi Note 5 Pro to be slightly brighter, but both of these displays are really good. And as you can see right now, the viewing angles are excellent. And I've used these phones both indoors and outdoors for a long time. And outdoor visibility is not a problem for any of these displays. Speaking about the fingerprint scanners of both these phones, the Redmi Note 5 Pro packs in a very fast fingerprint scanner, while the Zenfone Max Pro's fingerprint scanner is slow and unresponsive as compared to the Note 5 Pro. Even the face unlock feature is way better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and it is pretty consistent and reliable in almost all kinds of lighting. Another thing worth mentioning is that the Asus Zenfone Max Pro does not pack in an IR blaster. Let's now talk about the hardware spec, and again the Note 5 Pro and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro pack in an identical processor, which is a flagship budget processor, which is the Snapdragon 636, and both of these pack in Adreno 509 as the GPU. And the performance of this chipset is amazing because I first saw it in the Redmi Note 5 Pro and the performance is great. You know, there was no lag while playing games, no lag in general while using this device, and there was no heating issue, which is very good. That means the Snapdragon 636 is probably a very good chipset. And the Asus Zenfone Max Pro has also included this chipset, even though the Zenfone is almost 4000 rupees cheaper. And as expected, the performance was identical. There was no lagging in Asphalt 8. There was a slight lag here and there, but that's just because of the OS optimization. Using these phones as my daily devices with 2 SIMs, the performance has been exceptional. If you want to buy either of these phones for daily usage, if your usage mainly includes calling, WhatsApp, using Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, or playing the occasional game or taking the occasional picture, then the performance of both of these phones is pretty much neck to neck, and that's thanks to the Snapdragon 636 chipset. But yes, there is something very different when it comes to the performance, and that is the software that these two phones pack in. The Redmi Note 5 Pro packs in, oh, this is a skin by the way, so the Redmi Note 5 Pro packs in Android 7 Nougat, which is based on MIUI. And this is a MIUI theme, which is the Pixel theme, and it's pretty neat. I can link it down below. While the Asus Zenfone Max Pro packs in stock Android, and stock Android is nice, I would say, but it does miss those kind of tweaks that Xiaomi has added. A lot of apps that you have to download from the Play Store. I think the decision is more of a personal level thing, because if you don't like MIUI at all, you can install the Nova launcher, or you can install something like this launcher that I have right here that gives you the feel of having a Pixel. You can overcome the problem of having a bad UI in MIUI if you're not a MIUI fan, and that is by using the Nova launcher or using themes from the Xiaomi stores. If you're absolutely someone who needs the latest and greatest OS, Xiaomi, considerably shown itself that it's not keeping up to the mark when it comes to delivering software updates. And that being said, the Asus Zenfone Max Pro comes with Android Oreo 8.1, and they have already promised Android P, so I hope it comes in the next 1 to 2 months. But otherwise, the performance of both these softwares, the Note 5 Pro on Android Nougat and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro on Android 8.1 Oreo, both of them have been pretty excellent. During general purpose, there has been no issue at all. Coming to the gaming performance, thanks to again the Snapdragon 636 and the Adreno 509 GPU, gaming was excellent on both of these phones, no heating issue. The Asus Zenfone Max Pro heating in general during setup initially for the first 2 days. After 1 to 2 battery cycles, that problem has been eliminated. Now let's talk about the loudspeakers. Both of them have a single loudspeaker which is at the bottom, and Asus has claimed that it is a 5 magnet loudspeaker, and they've also hyped it by including a box which is called the Max box. And the truth is this, both of these are loud loudspeakers, but the Zenfone Max Pro is slightly louder. It produces slightly richer tone, and the Max box is just, you know, a sound device to amplify that bassy note to you. So pretty much if you're looking for good speakers, both of them again pack in really good speakers. What was really important for me in making a decision was this rear camera. I've been testing the rear cameras on both these devices, and I really liked the Note 5 Pro in general. It had its share of flaws, which you can see. I'll leave a card which you can have a look to right now. So the Note 5 Pro had its cons. It had a bad and slightly slow UI under heavy load. But when I used the Zenfone Max Pro's camera, I realized how much better the Note 5 Pro was. These phones pack in identical specs: a 13 megapixel primary camera. Here is again a 13 megapixel primary camera, a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera, and again a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. So first, to talk about the hardware aspect of the camera, the Note 5 Pro is 10 times better. 10 times better because it has a bigger sensor, a brighter aperture. That means it will let in more light. I'll just give you the specs right now. It will let in a lot more light, and this one is having a disappointing f2.4 and f2.2. That means you're going to have a lot of less light in the frame, and that's because of the optics of this camera. So I was expecting the Zenfone Max Pro to do bad. As I speculated, the performance of the Zenfone Max Pro's camera was pathetic. If you really want to know what's exactly bad with the camera of the Zenfone Max Pro, then do have a look at my detailed camera review, which will be coming out really shortly. And there you will know exactly what is wrong. But to just summarize, it has a very slow shutter speed. The camera UI is pretty complicated and buggy, and it's really frustrating to use. And because the shutter is slow, most of the shots come out shaky. So even though the camera is probably good, or it could have done better, it's this shutter speed and the bad optic selection which has made this bad performer in the camera department. Now speaking about the front camera performance, again the Note 5 Pro is a 20 megapixel camera, and there is absolutely no comparison. There's insane amount of difference. I'll just take a picture right now. It's like the Zenfone takes its sweet time to take a picture all the time, be it the rear camera or the front facing camera. And again, this is a 8 megapixel f2.4 front camera. That means it's letting in a lot less light. It's a smaller sensor. While the Note 5 Pro has nailed it in the front camera department, and I really like how detailed the Note 5 Pro's front camera is. So hands down, if you are a camera person and you wanted a good camera, then you should definitely pick the Note 5 over the Asus Zenfone Max Pro. I found the Note 5 Pro to be better in almost every aspect, like the design, the build quality, the camera, which are most of the important, and the performance is pretty much at neck. So far the Note 5 Pro is definitely a better phone. And I just realized I haven't spoken about the battery difference between these two phones. The Zenfone Max Pro packs in a bigger battery of 5000 mAh versus the 3000 mAh battery in the Note 5 Pro. And the Zenfone Max Pro did give me a longer standby time, and it did give me a longer screen on time of about 7 to 8 hours in 2 days as compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But let's now talk about why you want to get the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 or why you should get the Note 5 or the Note 5 Pro. So specifically, if you are someone who's a hardcore stock Android fan who doesn't like MIUI, who doesn't absolutely want anything to do with MIUI, and you want a good phone which is a decent performer all around but has a slightly bad camera, then you should go for the Zenfone Max Pro M1. And this is significantly cheaper at 11,000 for the 3GB and 32GB variant which I have right now, or you could get the 4GB variant which should be snappier. But not that I've had any performance issues with this device, but yes, it does not hold too many apps in the RAM because it's 3GB compared to this being a 4GB RAM variant. But this is for 11,000 and this I got for 14,000, but now it retails for 15,000. So to look at the price difference, 4,000 is a lot of money, but at 11,000 you're getting stock Android, you're getting the latest updates faster than Xiaomi definitely. You're getting a very good performance because of the identical Snapdragon 636 chipsets. You're getting a triple SIM card slot, which is another advantage in this phone. And overall, if you want a phone for daily usage, then I think Zenfone Max Pro M1 is definitely the phone to get here. There's no doubt about that. But if you don't mind the compromise that this does not have stock Android and this might get updates late, but you want a good camera at this price point by putting in slightly more amount of money, then you should do it and you should get the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But if dual cameras is not really your thing, then you could get the Note 5 for slightly better build quality as compared to the Zenfone Max Pro M1. But pretty much it's a very difficult choice to make. But I think you should make the choice depending on what is more important to you. If a camera is more important to you, then hands down the Note 5 Pro or the Note 5 and the Zenfone Max Pro. But if you're a price sensitive person right now, then the Zenfone Max Pro M1 is hands down the phone to get, with a small amount of trade-off, but you can accept them. So that's it guys, I've shared my thoughts on getting the Redmi Note 5 Pro or the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Do tell me what you thought of this video and do tell me what phone you will be getting. Thank you so much for watching, do subscribe and watch the next one.